here are 3 top tips for GCSE English literature. Firstly, churning out essays without reflection weakens your next attempt at another essay. Although practicing is a highly useful strategy, after each essay you need to stop and review what exactly you have done. So that's why I've created a list of things you should review after completing each essay. This will help you learn and improve for next time, and it's especially useful if you are self-marking this. So firstly, are the points made separate or do they flow into the next with fluency? Is there a range of quotes that illustrate strong knowledge of the text, excluding unseen poetry, or is it very limited and memorized? Is there a valid and convincing argument being formed? So it may not be popular, but the way that you've structured it makes it convincing to the examiner. And are you being perceptive? Now let's look more about being perceptive. Being perceptive is often one of the barriers that examiners use to distinguish between a grade 5 to 7 piece and a grade 8 to 9 essay. If you are unsure of the word perceptive and what it means in practice, an easy way to use this is by including phrases such as, with this said, this could mean, alternatively. So by including these phrases, you are talking about other perspectives, and that is what the examiners are looking for. 2. Do not come into the exam with a set-in-stone essay approach, even though this is very tempting. Of course, you need to have a broad idea of what is required, but if you are aiming for those grade 9s, you need to be flexible, and this is mostly learnt through practice. But here I've given you a recommended structure that is not too limiting for the exam. So the introduction. Firstly, you want to discuss the theme or character broadly in the context. So if it's 19th century literature, talk about how it's relevant in that. Then in the entire play or novel, and then just in the extract. So what you're doing here is you're funneling your way to answering the question. And you may also want to introduce your line of argument. Then you want to have 3 points. Now note, I'm not saying 3 paragraphs because you can have multiple paragraphs for each point. And what you want to do is link these 3 points. You don't want them to be 3 separate stone cold points. You need to link them, and this normally happens through an overarching line of argument that is perceptive. Another way to make sure that you're linking them through is normally by writing them out chronologically. So each of the 3 points could show development in a character chronologically, and that helps you link them and be fluent instead of quite rigid and talking about events all over the place. And finally, your conclusion. So here you want to discuss the importance of this theme or character's development and how this has impacted and adjusted the plot. Point 3. One of the best methods for preparation is rereading your texts. Now, just imagine that the more you read the text, the more you understand and can recall the plot, and thus the more fluent your answers will be. Rather than solely relying on common memorized quotes, you can reference situations and scenarios which strengthen your arguments. Now, if you found this video helpful, you know exactly what to do. Thank you for watching and see you soon.